The hydrologic cycle is the most fundamental principle of hydrology. Water evaporates from the oceans and the land surface, travels through the atmosphere as water vapor, precipitates as rain or snow, is intercepted by trees and vegetation, provides runoff on the land surface, infiltrates into soils, recharges groundwater, discharges into streams, and eventually flows out into the oceans where it will evaporate. Because the provision of a reliable water supply is crucial to man's survival. The study of hydrology dates back at least as far as Egypt's ancient civilizations. The water cycle, according to Langbain and Hoyt, is one of nature's big schemes. Rather of investigating the nature of water, the hydrologic cycle gives it a specific shape that is explained through a historical reconstruction of its representation. Because of the natural cycling of water across a multitude of different regions on the Earth, the amount of water has been remained largely constant throughout the Earth's history.
Biogeochemical cycles involve the fluxes of chemical elements among different parts of the Earth, from living to non-living, from atmosphere to the land to sea, and from soils to plants. They are called cycles because matter is always conserved, and because elements move to and from major pools by a variety of fluid fluxes, although some elements are stored in locations or in forms that are differently accessible to living beings. Hydrological cycle is also known as the water cycle. It is the normal water recycling system on Earth. Due to solar radiation, water evaporates generally from the sea, lakes, etc. Water also evaporates from plant roots through the mechanism of transpiration. As the steam rises in the atmosphere, it is being cooled, condensed, and returned to the land and the sea as precipitation. Precipitation falls on the earth as surface water and shapes the surface, creating thus streams of water that results in lakes and rivers. A part of the water precipitating penetrates the ground and moves downward through the incisions forming aquifers. Finally, a part of the surface and underground water leads to sea. During this trip, water is converted in all phases: gas, liquid, and solid. As mentioned above, water always changes states between liquid, vapor, and ice. With these processes happening in the blink of an eye and over millions of years.
Having a sense of belongingness will always be the desire of many. It is that sweet taste of companionship and having a healthy community that makes the species flourish. However, there are other breeds where instead of bringing harmony to an environment, they bring destruction and chaos. These species are called invasive species. They are living organisms that endanger a new environment because they are not native. They can arrive in a new habitat by the chemical waste from merchant ships, aquatic baits, accidental freeing of other oceanic species, and even by us people. In addition, the scale of how they wreak havoc to any environment that they will be introduced to is tremendously huge. An instance would be through the means of extinction of those native animals and plants, the modifying of habitats, and limited resources because of the competition between the native and the invasive.
The water resources face a slew of serious threats, the majority of which are the result of human activity, such as modernization, pollution, climate change, deforestation, sedimentation, landscape changes, and urban growth that can also be referred as to anthropogenic effects. People's waste can pollute the environment's air, land, and water resources. They have an impact on the quality of rainwater and water resources, both above and below ground. As well as natural systems, one of the most serious threats to water resources is ecosystem degradation, which often occurs as a result of landscape changes such as forest clearing, conversion of natural landscape to farmland, city growth, road construction, and surface mining. Each type of change to a landscape will have a distinct impact, usually directly or indirectly, on natural ecosystem and water resources.
The Chatelier's principle was discovered and formulated independently by chemists Henry Louis, Le Chatelier, and Carl Ferdinand Braun. The Le Chatelier's principle is an observation about chemical equilibrium of reactions. It states that changes in the temperature, pressure, volume, or concentration of a system will result in predictable and opposing changes in the system in order to achieve an equilibrium state. An example of this is coastal or ocean acidification. This occurs when the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere increases. The concentration contaminates the water because the carbon gases dissolves in the sea waters. That lowers the pH of the water, contributing to acidification. Common causes from various human activities are burning of fossil fuels, waste disposal, industrialization, to name a few. The Chatelier's principles tell us that an increase in concentration of dissolved carbon dioxide causes the equilibrium to move to the right. This leads to increased concentration of hydrogen carbonate and hydrogen ions. As more carbon dioxide dissolves, this concentration may lead to suffocation and even death of marine creatures, and the effects on marine life will become evident.
What is epigenetics? It is the study of how human behaviors and the environment can affect or modify genes. Epigenetic changes alter the DNA structure, and the environment of living species may induce epigenetic modification, wherein the cell may receive signals informing it about the environment, in which case it may cause changes due to it adjusting in specific conditions in the environment. In connection with the marine life, this means that it can affect aquatic species as well. And because of human activities like oil spills on ocean, plastic pollution, overfishing, and even habitat destruction, the marine life will be in constant danger. And because of this, there will be constant change in the environment of marine life. And this constant change may be hard to handle by the nature, which in return may cause drawbacks and after effects like climate change that will most likely affect human lives as well. And this is the negative effect of epigenetics caused by human activity.
Producing assets within its biological system, each species supply chain is distinctive in its material cycle. The majority of organics do. The components of this recipe are entirely normal. There are lakes on the side. This is how water travels. Transporting water between reservoirs is a challenge. Spring invasion is caused by a shortage of spring water. Water evaporates off the surface on a regular basis when heated. Water decomposes into gas. They possess enough dynamic energy to escape the water, decomposed air it is required. For the downpour and cloudy cover, the most prevalent method of converting water to gas is precipitation. Due for the fruit collect rapidly, the following are critical precipitation designs. Many people have an innate need to fit in the species they thrive in group. Others, on the other hand, wreak havoc everywhere they go. Species that have launched an assault on another region is devoted to the non-locality, utilizing synthetic compounds derived from commercial vessels, humans, or other marine species. Another biological system might be constructed. They also wreak havoc in other biological systems they have find a way into. Obtrusive species competitors have resulted in the extinction of indigenous species, environmental insecurity, and asset consumption, both indigenous and foreign.